So, if you had to choose like 3 to 5 of the top movies of a particular actor or actress, what would they be? Right, we're going to kick off a little mini series about this, and I'm really looking forward to going into this more.
Welcome back to the SpewnedIt Podcast.
His name's Jensen Anderson. My name's Joel Brown. Great to have you here with us. Today we're talking about Tom Hardy, okay? So, Jen, start us off with our number 1 seed, really. What are we going for?
This is my favorite movie of all time, and I want to talk about this movie in greater depth at a later time, but it's called Warrior. The character Tom Hardy plays is called Tommy Reardon, and wow, for me, the emotional range that he displays in this film is mind-blowing. He plays this very tough character who's got a lot of damage from his past, and he's very closed off, and just the way that he conveys emotion through that, I think, blows my mind every single time I see the movie. I'm not going to spoil it. The end is phenomenal. You might be able to see it coming, you might not, but the execution is what really matters here, and it's incredible. I watched this movie with my family maybe my last birthday about a year ago, and it was really funny hearing them trying to like predict the end of the movie while we were watching. I was just like, just you wait. But the emotional range and depth of every character in this movie, and especially Tom Hardy's character in particular, almost literally brings a tear to my eye every time I watch it, which is hard to do. So Warrior, my top spot, bar none.
Now, I've got to hold my hands in the air and say that actually, of the list that we've got, I haven't seen that movie. However, I've heard so many good things from you and just from all over the place. It's tough for it to set a foot wrong. And actually, going along the lines of those type of movies, I want to bring to the table the second one is Legend. Right now, Tom Hardy, and I think the reason that this is such a brilliant movie is simply down to the characters. So Tom Hardy plays the Cray twins, basically like a pair, like a set of brothers. They are just gangsters, completely different people, played by the same actor, and that for me is just incredible, because obviously, over different movies, actors will play completely different characters, but this is in the exact same movie. That they have scenes where they're like looking face to face, and they have fight scenes and everything. I think it's just brilliant, and that never leaves your mind the whole time, and it doesn't bug me or anything, but if anything, it just adds depth to it, and the depth that you feel from each character and how different they are, and yet the love they have for each other is powerful, man. And in my opinion, one of his best performances just across the board. Massive well done, because it was incredible. Now, this next one is one that we both love. Jens, take it away.
Mad Max Fury Road. He plays the title role of Max, and I think you might be surprised in hearing this brought up, because I think we can all agree he's probably got about 5 words of dialogue throughout the entire movie. But what me and Joel were talking about before the show is that he just fits the role so perfectly. And I think of all of these movies, this is the one where he fits like a puzzle piece the most, in that he's just a part of a really perfectly crafted team of actors and directors and people and creatives working on this movie. And he's just the perfect contributor. He doesn't like steal the show, in my opinion. There's Charlize Theron, who's doing just a phenomenal job throughout the film as well as all the supporting cast and everybody else. But Tom Hardy as Max just fits in the world so perfectly and is just a perfect contributor in my eyes for this movie. And that's why we've got it on the list, I think.
100%. One of my favorite scenes from that movie is early on in the movie when he's running away basically from like the baddies. Is all I'm going to say, unless you like haven't seen it. And like the tension of that specific moment is gut-wrenching, and you see the little movements that he's making, and it just he poses so well for that movie, and he does such a good job. Another one where he's taken a bit more of the spotlight in this one is The Dark Knight Rises. Obviously, Tom Hardy plays Bane, this hulking mass of a character who's got a crazy voice, tons of memorable lines, including, to mention just a few, what will break first, your mind or your body? And Jensen and I were laughing about this before, because it's the way he ends the body on like a high note, like he's actually curious. And then of course the classic, oh, you think the darkness is your ally, you merely adopted the dark, I was born in it. So good. That whole fight scene as well, amazing. And just the scale of him. You know, you see Bane stand up, you're like, this guy is just huge. And just a great performance, a great voice. What a character. I'm a big fan. But obviously, gents, that's 4 out of 5. And I mean, we had to save a special performance for this last one.
Absolutely. This one is one of those ones where I have a very strong memory of me and Joel watching this together. It was my first time seeing it. Got the disc, and it's Inception. His character is Eames. He's kind of the comic relief throughout the film, paired with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and you mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling. That line in particular is such an iconic one, and just so funny in the midst of, you know, an essentially fairly tense scene where they're getting shot out and everything's going wrong, and he's just like, hold the phone, I got this. And man, like the whole montage of them like training and him messing with Joe Gordon-Levitt's character, and oh my gosh, is that one, I think that might have been my first time seeing him, and I was like, oh, this is like a funny actor. And then you see Legend and you see Warrior and you see him as Bane and Mad Max, and it's like, he's got some serious range here, and he can do what he wants to do because he is such a talented actor, and I think I just appreciate him all the more for it.
Yeah, incredible. And just to sum it up, we do think that while that is obviously a big moment for Jensen and I in our movie watching career, I'm going to say, sure. It is just a brilliant performance of a brilliant set of actors. Inception is one of, if not my favorite movie ever, so that's why I'm definitely biased to it. But it's just how he plays the role so well and executes it perfectly, and the character knows, look, I know what I'm doing here. And Jensen and I were talking about this before, actually, about how if he is going to get that 007 role, which would be insane, we think that this is definitely something he's going to tap a little bit of Eames into that character. I think it would be insane if he gets it. But like we said, we're going to be building a mini-series off this. So if you guys are thinking that you've had any maybe additions or stuff that you want to take away from this, then please do let us know. Of course, you can comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're actually thinking, yo, guys, I want you to do the top 3, top 5 for this in particular actor or actress, we would be more than happy. But until then, God bless, and we'll see you next week.